After being laid off, I got really excited about being able to work on my own projects again and a little bit scared of not being able to pay the bills. Uh, Thankfully, I got some freelance work lined up and the bills are going to be covered for a few months. So it's time for me to schedule a little bit more and get organized so I can work on both and get my projects done at the same time. So I made a list of all the projects that I want to be working on. I got 7, and on the top of the list is BambaBot, a short film that I shot about a year ago. It's live action with an animated robot, and I got the help of a lot of friends to get to where we are, and I owe to them to finish this by the end of the year. So excuses aside and trying not to focus on what kept me from finishing this project, I want to focus on what is still left to do in order for me to finish. I still have 59 days left in the year, and this is the list of what I still need to do in order to finish this project. But before I get to that, I kind of want to share with you what has been done already. I'm calling this model final just because I'm running out of time and I want to get things done. I had to cut some corners. I was slowly going and placing topology on everything. I was really happy with the sculpt. As I started doing the rig, I had to change the model a little bit, and as I was laying topology, some parts got a little bit sharper than I would like, but I was running against the clock because I had the opportunity to use a really good new AI motion capture tool for free, and I was afraid that the tool was going to be released and then I would have to pay for it, and I had no idea how much they were going to charge. So let me turn wireframe on. So at the moment I was like, okay, I'm just gonna decimate some parts so I can get this rig done, and turns out those parts are gonna remain decimated without proper topology because otherwise, if I keep refining this forever, I'm never gonna finish this project, and those parts don't deform. Decimated is good enough. I'm just gonna call it a day. And it's not a portfolio piece, it's a movie. So if the time to get the model looking perfect doesn't affect the final product, it's not a time well spent. So I'm just cutting some corners and getting straight to the point, getting to what matters and getting it done. It's a very simple rig. It's like arms and legs and everything, but I had to figure out some more complex stuff for the pistons and separated joints and mechanical bits, and the double joints on the knee and elbow are kind of were a little bit hard to get it done too. The knee joints is separate from everything else, so to get not just this working, but getting that to work was hard. Getting that to work with the mocap rig was even harder. And this is with the materials applied. Everything was going smooth, but then I had to rush to finish. So I got another urgency to finish the surfacing ahead of time, not only because I had to start rendering stuff, but also because I was about to lose access to Substance Painter. I was using my work license for Substance Painter, and as I got laid off from work, with it, all my license went. So I'm migrating to mostly open source tools now, but I didn't want to have to restart surfacing from scratch using the open source stuff. Even knowing like would be a good way for me to practice that, but a priority now is just getting this done. So whatever state surfacing was, now it's final, and I just exported everything before my license expired, and that's the look now. And again, I'm happy with it. There is some things I would change, and it's a good thing that I ran out of time, and otherwise I keep tweaking forever. For the mocap, we decided to go with Movie AI. Jeff got in contact with those guys and he managed to get into the beta testing. So we're super excited, looked amazing, super precise. The multi-camera one was the only one available at the time, and it seemed to be the best option for us. So we rented 6 GoPros, we placed them in a circle, we followed all the guidelines, and we did that for a test shoot before, just to make sure the tool was going to work for us. And after we got the test footage, we emailed them to start a free trial, and they backtracked on that. They were like, oh, you know what, we can't onboard you right now, because we're focusing our all the resources on the iPhone app right now. And that was devastating because we planned everything around this mocap tool, and now we didn't have access to it. Not only that, we waste a lot of money renting GoPros to it. 10 days go by, and it's like the week of the shooting dates, we don't know, like we were like, okay, let's just shoot without the mocap and pray for the best. And they were like, oh, you know what, we can onboard you now. So, and that was like the week of the shoot, so we couldn't test the test footage that we had before. We had to just blindly shoot with the same setup without actually testing it. And guess what? I don't know what we did wrong, because they were not providing feedback at the moment. They had their teams busy with the iPhone app, so it didn't work for us. We set the cameras like they asked. We maybe because we had too much lighting, too much things going on. We had some fog for the fighting scene, so I don't know how that was affecting. I don't know. Maybe I got the configurations on the cameras wrong. I don't think so, but we tried and it didn't work. Like all I got from I upload all the footage, and even the calibration was failing. And I tried, and I would change things and reprocess everything, and wouldn't work. I spent like 2 weeks going back and forth trying that, and didn't work. And I pretty much gave up on the mocap. We're gonna go just with the rig, but then this thing came up. So Wonder Dynamics came up, and I emailed them asking to be part of the beta testing. The tool wasn't released yet, and they agreed. And so I sent some of my project stuff, and they were like, okay, I would love to see. And I actually got into the beta testing, and that's why I was rushing the rig, because I knew this tool was about to be released at any minute, and I really wanted to use it for free. So I started rushing everything, and I did a test with their own assets, and it worked great. And this was actually better because being a single camera mocap, it actually meant that we could use the actual footage to do the mocap, and timing got a lot easier to deal with. The problem, it's not as accurate as the multi-camera setup, but it's accurate to camera, and that's what mattered the most, right? And because it's a single character and it's live action, it's not living on a 3D environment, it doesn't really matter if it's not accurate for other angles, as long as it looks good on camera, on the camera view. So this was great, and like I did some quick tests, and I love this tool. Out of all the mocap tools I tried so far, this one is by far the best. And I rushed the rig. I got the rig done. And the day I finished the rig, I'm not kidding. The day I finished the rig, they released the tool, and it's no longer free to use. So, but the price is a bit different than. Where's my other one? So, if you look at the price for the Movie AI, let's see, pricing for the multi-camera setup, $500 a month. And so would cost us $500 to have only the battle scenes mocapped here. As Wonder Studios cost me $90 to have everything mocapped. I had to rush everything and do everything within a month. So similar to what I'm planning to do to the render, I was doing 2 shots a day. I have 57 shots. So 2 shots a day, cut, upload, mocap, download, and then next day, same thing. And that's why I'm confident that rendering a little bit every day instead of going through the entire thing in like doing a couple hours a day for rendering everything. It's for me, like prepping the scenes and rendering is gonna be more efficient than spending like just a few days preparing everything and then rendering everything. I think a little bit of a day goes a long way for me. So this worked great for me, and and actually helped me with the rig quite a lot, because they let you download the Blender scenes. So my rig was based on one of their characters. I did a first mocap test with one of their characters, this one. Let me see if we can see here. So I used their characters first to make sure it was working. And then I download the Blender scene for this. And with that Blender scene, I broke down the rig. I stole a few rigging elements here and there, and it didn't quite work, but it kind of gave me the base to do the rig, to learn how they did the pistons, how they did some things, and I just replicated that on my own rig, and that worked. So this tool kind of saved the whole project. Without Wonder Studio, this wouldn't be possible. And their main thing is to actually do comp, render, everything. So for social media and that kind of stuff, it's amazing that they do the render and everything. But for me, what's more appealing is they provide a Blender scene with the rig, and I can render on my own with better materials and better render settings. So that's how it's kind of looking right now. So before the shooting date, I tried to storyboard the whole thing with Quill VR, and it kind of worked. Was great to feel the timing of the script, how long was the whole thing gonna be, and figure out some camera angles. I didn't follow the storyboards on the shooting day. It was just a way for me to prepare for the shooting day, and I'm really glad that I did it. And I kind of wish I had dedicated more time to this thing. I think for my next project, I will be more thorough with the storyboard, because I think if I polish the entire storyboards, the shooting day would have gone smoother. Like if I printed out the storyboard and let the guys watch the Leica instead of explaining them what I want, I think that would be very beneficial. So the way the model went by was, I went to Toronto to scan the guy playing the robot, Mike, and I did, like, it's just a phone app. I think it was like $10 app for 3D scanning. It's a really rough scan, but it was enough for me to gather the proportions and size. So it was gonna make it easier to do all the replacements and do a little bit less rotoscoping than if I had a skinnier or larger character. And I modeled the character. I did a VR sculpt of the character first, based on some paper sketches that I had. And after I got the proportions down and everything, I uploaded to Mixamo a decimated version, really rough. And Mixamo has some capoeira mocap there. So using the Mixamo rig, I was able to test the proportions and test the boxiness of the character, and if the design was going to work with the fluid movements that the capoeira requires. And I think that went great. So I was able to finish the sculpt without the worry of, is this going to work or not? I knew that the model could behave in the ways that I was expecting. So I'm probably gonna do a proper behind the scenes afterwards, including all the steps and the shooting day and everything. But for now, I just want to mention that this guy holding the camera on these shots, Jeff Robinson, this project wouldn't be even possible without him. Not only because he's co-directing and helped shoot and plan everything, but also because he showed me what's possible. He really inspired me to get things done. He also has 2 kids. Granted, his kids are a little bit older, but he's a dad, he has 2 kids, he has a full-time job, and he finishes so many short films on his spare time. And like me, he has many other hobbies, and he manages to enjoy his hobbies, finish short films, and do his day job. So it's a true inspiration being friends with him. And if I never met him, I don't think I would even think making a short film like this would be possible as an independent artist.
Go for it. Okay. Let's put, can you come over a little bit? Yeah, just there, maybe a little bit more. We're done with them. Let's take them out.
You think so?
Yeah.
He did a few times there.
Yeah.
So I'm splitting my time between freelance work and this project, and I'm having some difficulty on focusing on this project because a lot of the creative parts, coming up with the idea, coming up with the design and execution, shooting, all the fun stuff is pretty much done. And what I'm left with is the more technical and boring part. So it's a bit hard to get those parts done, and that's part of why it's not done yet. I still have 59 days left in the year. I have 57 mocap shots that I need to clean up and render. If I round up to 60 and I get 2 of those done a day, I can render them overnight, and in 30 days, I can have the entire thing rendered. The edit's pretty much done, so I have to do color correcting. I already did that, but I don't like it, so I'm gonna spend a full day watching tutorials, learning how to do that properly, and actually matching out the cameras. 1 day of color grading. I kind of know the look I want to go for. It's going to be 2 different scenes, 2 different main grades for the entire thing, and it's going to be easy after having everything color corrected. So I'm giving myself a day for color grading, a day for matching the audio, because we shot everything in 3 different cameras, and those 3 different cameras have 3 different microphones, and the volume is all over the place. So to match the audio of everything, it's going to be another day at least. 2 days for audio effects. So my plan is pretty much download effects from Artlist and use them as I go. Unless if I can find a good audio guy to help me out, I would definitely accept the help. But I think with 2 days and downloaded content, I might be able to get it done. It's not going to be the best quality, but at least finish is better than perfect, right? 1 day to work on the credits, and by credits I mean the actual text of the credits, getting everybody's names, getting animated and going up and everything, and having making sure I got everybody in there, everybody that helped. 2 days for the credit images, because I want to add some fun, some flair to the credits, and I assume it's going to take me 2 days. It might take a little bit longer, but it's something that I can work along other things. So 2 days for the images exclusive, and then if I need more time, I just mix it up with other stuff. So this is where things get a little bit more complicated. I have a few other things that I need to do. I gotta go to Toronto and record the soundtrack for the last fight, for the boss fight. And for me to do that, I'm gonna have to reach out to those guys who helped me record on the first day, and ask for them to help me yet again. And I'm sure they will do that without even blinking, right? Like, they love capoeira, they love playing the music. So I bet if I show up any day, they will help me out. But I don't have the heart to show up empty-handed and just ask them to help me with this project that has been a year and they see nothing. So I'm only gonna ask for their help again and go there, record the music after I have the movie pretty much done. The music's gonna be the last thing. That way I can go there, show them what I have, present them, get them excited again, and then we record the audio, and that's the last thing. Well, almost the last, because so out of the entire choreography that we did that day, there's only one shot that I'm not really happy with, and that's the final kick, the final move of the entire battle. It looks great, but I want to show off a little bit more. I want to get a different angle, a little bit more of slow motion, really show the impact, and I'm going to have to shoot that again. So I'm going to shoot myself at home first, really get the camera angles dialed, really get the movements dialed, the timing and everything, so that can be like one and done, like just probably not one and done. We might have to record a couple times, but it can be something like a 20-minute shoot instead of a full day like we did that day, just to polish that one last kick. And I think that's pretty much it. That adds up to 47 days. out of the 59 that I have, and the last like 10 to 12 days is gonna be like probably gonna lose a few days there with Christmas and New Year's and everything. So I'm planning on doing the rotoscoping and just cleaning up footage, like removing. There is some shots that we have like a cameraman showing up a little bit on the corner, or a lot of the, like we try to make the robots a little bit bigger than Mike, so we don't need a full clean plate, but that never works out, right? Like I need to roto him out of a lot of the shots, and I'm hoping I can do that on those 10 days. So it's going to be 10 days of rotoscoping, which is not the most fun thing, but needs to be done. And I think by leaving that to the last step, it might motivate me to get it done faster, because it's a very boring thing to do, but at the same time it's going to be the one thing that's going to be standing on the way of me finishing this. So I hope by leaving that for the last step, I can actually get it done faster. So this is the project that I have been working on, and I'm super excited to be on the final stretch of it, to finally get it done and be able to share with you guys. And I know a lot of my friends, a lot of you also have projects going on, but it's kind of hard to share unfinished thing on the internet, and it's also hard to finish something without any feedback, working on a bubble by yourself. So I'm making a Discord channel, mostly for my friends that have their own projects. So right now it's a private channel. I want to invite, if you know me and if you have your own project, please reach out. Show me a little bit of what you're working on, and I add you to the channel so we can share feedback and actually get those things done. Okay, see you there.